Even for the normal two products you want to compare, rather than going through the traditional compare, you are just going to chat gpt, you are just saying the which one is best for me, this is my use case, right? The agents would start buying on behalf of customers.
Hi, Jigar. Thank you so much for taking the time. Welcome to Tech Brew. So let's start the conversation with a focus on how retail has evolved in India, and now with a lot of AI in the picture, things are going to be very different, and I'm sure changes are already happening. So from where you're sitting, what do you think are the biggest shifts that are happening in retail already, which probably people are not really seeing or aware of?
Across retail, uh, so I mean there was a first wave which was the online and offline, right? I mean, and suddenly there was a connection that started happening between online and offline through omnichannel. And in last 2 years, since the inception of this AI and LLMs and AI agents, what has become primarily is everywhere there has been an intelligence layer that has been popped up suddenly, right? And it is on the consumer side as well as on the seller side also, right? Or merchant, seller, stores, essentially at all the places. And it has also come up in pretty much all the surfaces also, whether you go to stores, whether you go to your online website, whether you go to Amazon, Flipkart, pretty much everywhere, right? There is a change in the behavior of how you research things now. You just go to maybe OpenAI, right? Essentially chat GPT, and you try to research there instead of going to Google.
Absolutely.
Even for the normal two products you want to compare, rather than going through the traditional compare, you are just going to chat gpt, you are just saying the which one is best for me, this is my use case, right? And this kind of change would happen across the board.
With AI in the picture, is it making the whole building of software today a easier process? I mean, do you think building retail systems with AI in the picture has become simpler, or do you think that I guess the complexity is now shifted to something else? How do you see it?
So making software has become easier. This is the personal experience. I mean, where I needed like 5 engineers, I am able to build myself. I mean, and that too in timeshare, right? I am managing my team at the same time. I am able to build the whole full-fledged software within like hours or days at times, right? So making software has become really easy, but the complexity has shifted on the validation layer of the software. So now, whatever the software you have generated with AI, right, whether it is a Claude, Codex, doesn't matter at this point of time, right? Whether it is secure, whether it is enterprise grade, whether it is production ready, right? And can it take a scale? I mean, at least the scale that you need, right? Uh, and in coming times, because it is so easy to build a software, right? Pretty much every organization, I would say, or maybe every persona would have their own software. So you will have your own software of what you want to see, right? So previously, what used to be there used to be a platform, and we used to customize it to like whatever 34-40% to the each persona. But now the software itself would change. If you say you don't like this kind of screen or you don't like this kind of graphs, it would give you what you want, right? And in that direction, the validation would become harder, right? So building
Correct.
software is easy, but validating whether it is working based on your parameter, based in a proper scale, in a proper environment with secure manner, would be a harder problem. At least that is currently a harder problem.
Correct. So this example, can you probably give in terms of in Find in your retail systems that you're building? How does this kind of reflect in that? The part that where you said AI has made the software, the whole process a little bit easier. So can you give like an example of how it works at your end?
So at Find, essentially, lot of layers between the roles has dissolved in coming times, right? So previously PMs, right, product managers were never able to build any software. Now what we have came to a conclusion, if we give them Claude, they are actually able to make a functional software, right? Uh, I still they need help from any of the engineers to get it to production and make it security hardened and all that, but it was never possible. Like it has happened in last like 6 months, right? 6 months to like a year, right? Where people are actually able to get their own software, right? And what I've seen is like everyone is creating their own software, right? What they like, because they are able to connect to the data, they are able to fetch with the APIs, and they are able to create their own presentations, right? So this is the drastic change that I've seen in developers specifically. Now previously they were not able to build the whole. So it used to be in phases. So it used to take 3 months to build something, right? Now the same developer is able to, like if the focus developer is there, obviously someone who is experienced, who knows what he wants from the essential AI, right? That person is pretty much able to churn that thing within like a week or so, right? And the primary focus, again, the same thing, is for a developer also, is going into validating what they have built, because the
Correct.
AI is churning like millions of line of code, but like you have to validate, right, it works or not. So half of the time it goes into either writing a framework around it, or either, testing it manually, right, whether it is working properly. So this has changed, right? I mean, so the boundaries between the this disciplines has changed. Like product managers are able to build software, engineers are able to go deeper into their own software. They are not anymore front end developer, back end developer. They are like a full stack developer. They understand everything, right? And even DevOps engineers are able to come and solve the problem in the software, right? So those boundaries has gone essentially at this point of time, that we are seeing personally in Fynd at this right now.
Correct. But do you feel that with this change that's happening, the junior level engineers or the fresher engineers that come in, they would somewhere not kind of grasp the core concepts of it, or, the traditional way of coding and building and growing on your own? That has kind of shifted. So do you think in the long run, there would be some competitive disadvantage for them?
I kind of agree there, because what I've seen is the people who are like a 3-4 year, like who are like principal engineers or who are senior engineers, they are able to take a lot out of AI, because they know what they want essentially, right? What kind of architecture they want, what kind of systems they want, what kind of output they want in their screens, right? At the same time, when I sit with a junior engineer, they end up vibing only. Vibing means they just prompt it out, and they
Correct.
they, they try to get it to the place, right? So structurally it seems right, but when you go deeper into the system, you see a lot of quirks into it, right? So maybe, like, there are bugs that has been left, or maybe the thinking is not 360-degree when they were building something, right? So yeah, there is this difference, but at the same time, it has become easy to learn. So you can very much ask AI to understand pretty much all the concepts, which was not there. So if the junior engineers understand what to ask to AI to learn first, right? Like how the core concepts of engineering works, right? Or how core concepts of software works, or that particular language they are writing, then it should become easier for them to learn, right? And that makes their speed really faster. Plus that learning is pretty much personalized, right? If you want in
Correct.
Hindi, it would happen in Hindi. If you want in English, it would happen in English. So for juniors, it would be always about, figuring out first, I mean, what they are doing, and then maybe, prompting and vibing it out. For seniors, figuring out in one go how to create a, 360-degree architecture, right? So once they start actually prompting, it gives them the right answer in the first go itself, first or second go. Yeah.
Correct. That's an interesting way. So, Jigar, just coming back to the whole marketplace and how retail work. Now, with marketplace platforms like, say, Amazon, etc., now offering sellers also AI tools for things like listings and inventory, etc. So I just want to understand, where does Find come in over here? Like, where do you see the real advantage of building your own commerce stack, and how do you differentiate yourself from the rest?
So as you can see, right? I mean, as you can see on our website also, we are kind of a unified AI commerce, right? AI unified commerce. So, and we pretty much connect to all the aspects of a commerce journey. I mean, recently we have expanded to manufacturing also, but from product to inventory to orders, right, which is OMS, and the stores, right, which is POS, and the online, which is storefront. And we also have an offering called Connect, which connects to pretty much all this Amazon, Flipkarts, right, whatever the marketplaces which are out there, right. We kind of sit in between all of that, right. We are like a heart of, connection of all of that. And because we are getting signals from all those parts, we are able to save all of the data in our data warehouse, and pretty much, learn a lot from it, and give our merchants really good insights on top of it. So Find sits at the heart of it essentially, right? Because we connect to all of the systems. Okay. And the idea is that from that we give them the intelligence which helps them go to the next level, right? Not just doing that operational efficiency that we used to do. It is beyond that.
There was some recent partnership with OpenAI as well, right? I mean, I saw some LinkedIn posts on your.
So essentially, what we are pushing is the boundaries for agentic commerce, right? So
Okay.
we have partnered with OpenAI specifically on that area. How the shopping happens in the next era, right? I mean, so there are still ideas around it which we are exploring with them, right? So agentic commerce is where we are partnering with, essentially.
Agentic commerce. Okay. Got it. Got it. So, which brings me actually to the next question of agentic commerce, really, the kind of adoption that's happening today. Uh, do you see any current challenges with that whole system?
Essentially, so what we have came to conclusion, right? So even if we are at the wavelength of a next frontier, right? I mean, what should be in the future, right? But when you actually go to merchants, sellers, right? I mean, the owners of this company, I mean, still their teams, their companies, their culture is not there, because they have done the business bit of it, right? So for them, this is still new. To make them learn, to understand, right? This is how it would change the world. It takes time for us, and that is the reason we have kind of come up with this new concept of something called forward deployed architects. So we have like
Okay.
we have a really trained people, okay, who knows AI really well, who are like really good at product management, program management, who understand the problem from 0 to 1. We deploy them with this retailers, essentially, right? Retailers, manufacturer. They work closely with them, they understand their problem statement, and then we build things which is actually necessary for them, right? And the idea is that we solve the problem for them, not like give them yet another software, right? Because the software has become malleable, right? At this point of time, the software, you can change software, right? With AI, you can change it, make it look like anything. But so the idea is that what is the outcome that they are looking for, right? If there is a shrinkage in their stock that is happening, how can we track that? How can we give them a real time inventory, and how can we give them the whole report of like, these are the things you should stock for the next day or maybe next month, right? So this forward deployed architects actually helps them in doing this, the retail.
And in terms of, say, challenges in the whole retail systems, what do you think is something that companies are still struggling with, especially when you're trying to achieve true omni-channel platforms?
Lot of syncs, essentially, lot of connection between external systems. So I mean, we have like 140 connectors, right? And to maintain those 100, and all of them are not same. Some of them are webhook based, some of them are, I mean, some of them send them a real time. Some, at some places we have to poll them, at some places we have to like essentially get it from SFTP or something like that, right? And this integrations, right, to manage this integration is pretty hard at this point of time, because you have to continuously be in the loop with the other party also, right, whom you have integrated with. If they change a protocol and they did not update you, then there could be a breakage, right? If there is a breakage, you have to make sure that it breakage, you are able to fix it in within really easy, I mean, within an hour or so. If so the problem here is generally what happens is all these retailers, right, they have multiple systems, because when they started, at that time they bought something. Now they are running their
Yeah.
business 5 years, and now the business has scaled, and now suddenly they want to go to online. So now they want online to connect to their POS system. Suddenly one day they will say, I want a forecasting of my my inventory, right? And then they introduce one more system. So what ends up happening is they have this 4 5 systems, and we have to connect to all those 4 5 systems, and then in the end we have to get all of those data in a reliable manner in our data warehouse, or for the processing and all that. So that is a little bit of harder problem, because and in every retail, the combination of that is really varied, right? Because every retailer would have a different system, and some of them would have their custom built system also. I've seen a custom POS built for a lot of people and we had to integrate to their custom SQL or Postgres or something like that, and to pull the inventory, right? So yeah, so that integration layer, getting the data in a reliable fashion, is one of the harder problem with all of these retailers at this point of time.
Correct. So, Jigar, just to talk about, say, the tech infrastructure at Fynd, can you just explain a bit of how the architecture has evolved as your company has scaled, or anything on any infrastructure that you can talk about, like how do you make real-time inventory possible, or other decisions that you actually work.
So at the core of it, so from beginning, right? I mean, almost like 8 years back, right? When we did the first overall architecture overall, we kind of started using Kubernetes, right? So pretty much that added a really good benefit to our ecosystem essentially, because across the board, all the applications are deployed on Kubernetes, and all of them
Okay.
are on Docker. So it becomes really easy to move, scale, all of that, right? Primarily for such a large inventory motion, right? We almost move 1 billion pieces of inventory information every month. That we use Kafka, right? There's a large amount of data that comes from Kafka, and then we are able to give it in real time. So if you take any of the SAP system and all that, there is this batch load, right? In our case, because all of this data is moving in real time, there's no
Correct.
batch. So we are actually able to give changes within seconds. Like if something changes, it will come in seconds, right? So you will not face a problem that there was an order but product did not found in the store or warehouses and all that, right? We try to put a lot of these filters around it so it doesn't happen, right?
So, coming to the end of this conversation, I want to end it on a futuristic note. So, I want to understand from you, do you have a prediction or anything that you see being a big shift in the retail that you see is coming in the next 5 to 6 years? But maybe most companies are probably not really looking at it right now. They're underestimating the whole potential of it. Is there anything like that you see?
So I think big difference that I think we have already seen the signs of it is on the consumer side. What I feel is the agents will start buying on behalf of customers. So currently we rely on ACOs, right? So the people will come, they will see our website and they will buy something, right? Or there is this app engine optimization, right? App store optimization, ASO, where you optimize your Flipkart and if the app would come on the top, right? Essentially.
Okay.
So that is what is done right now. But in coming time, what I see is the agents, right? Essentially, agents would start buying this thing. So I don't know whether the ACO would make sense or not. So currently, also in the end, ACO also we are gaming the system, right? What we do is we create a lot of blogs, we create a lot of backlinks and this and that, right? To get more attraction on the search pages and being on the top in the search pages, right? The same thing would happen for the agent. Now, how would it happen? Because agent might not need images, right? So agents are really good at text, essentially MD files, markdown files, text files, right? Essentially any sort of text, right? So I think that would be one of the big shift where things would start, agents would start buying on behalf of customers. Like it will start analyzing also, buying also. It would happen. And the simple example I would give is like in Chrome recently, they have released this Ask Gemini. If you have right?
Correct.
Right now it is able to just summarize your things. As of now,
What
it
you're
is.
looking at and those kind of things, right? The websites.
If you just imagine, once it start doing things, right? It start filling the form, it starts clicking the buttons, it start. So then the interface is not needed, right? You were doing those steps because humanly that was the only interface we knew till date, right? So the mouse clicks, all of that, right? Now you are telling your agent it is going and clicking the website, right? If the website becomes redundant at one point of time, right? Because the actions are nothing but simply clicks, then the idea is it is only conversation. So things will start going to AI agents. There would be conversations. Things would start becoming more conversational rather than the normal the clicks or interfaces we are doing. Obviously, there would be interface because that is the only way to see a deeper data, right? Graphs and all that you can't analyze with by
Correct.
heating it, right? There would be those surfaces, but this would be there, right? I mean, the things would start for almost normal things. It would go to conversation or it will go to some delegated AI from the consumer side. This is one of the big predictions that I have from my side.
But I've always had a doubt in that, Jigar. So when you say, like, say, agents would probably shop on your behalf, now would that mean that for each platform that you visit would have a separate agent, or you're saying one agent would be able to say it would be able to compare a product on Amazon and on Flipkart and then tell me, or is it going to be an agent for Amazon, an agent for Flipkart? So unless I have an agent that can probably search the whole internet and tell me what is the best deal, I, as a user, would probably not find a big use out of it, right?
Yeah. So here the I mean, essentially the stance of the companies come into the picture, right? So if you are aware of recently this browser that OpenAI released, right, and Amazon kind of blocked that they didn't want them to crawl.
Yes, and I think even Perplexity also faced the same thing on
Exactly, right.
Amazon. Yeah.
But I think at one point of time they will have to change. And the so right now everyone is trying to build something. Okay, at this point of time, everyone is trying to build something. Everyone has their own LLMs, AI agents, all of that, right? So everyone will come up with some idea of AI agents, right? And
Okay.
they would come up with some idea of essentially protocols. Currently, we have MCP, A2E, all of those things are there. But people would come up with this lot of ideas. It also happened when we standardized the computers. When the computers were there were ARM architectures, there were x86, there were a lot of architectures. In the end, everyone decided let's go with x86 and let's build this
Well,
one kind of computer which fits for everyone, right? And that's how you have the today's laptop, right? But there were a lot of architectures back then, right? Same way, this would evolve. So first of all, every company will try to build something, right? But in the end, there are common layers. What is common layer? Suppose iPhone, it's a common layer. Your browser is a common layer, right?
okay.
Just those layers needs to be more intelligent at one point of time. So what I see is currently there will be this mass decentralization because everyone can build with their whatever they have with their own things. But eventually there will be some centralization which will come between all of them. Some consensus would be built, right? So but it will take time, right? So the people will come with some specs that everyone would agree to, right? Just same as SMS, MMS, all of those things are there, right? Same people will come up with those specs, and then the global layer would become like one eventually.
Got it. Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Jigar, for taking the time. This has been quite an insightful conversation.
Yeah, Vandana, it was really nice to talk to you.